All right, guys, so let's talk about colors. First thing you need to know about colors is that they are adjectives. And then two things that you already know about adjectives. One is that they typically go after the noun. And the second thing is that they have to agree with the noun in gender and number. So we've discussed before that the noun is the most important part of the sentence as far as grammar goes. Everything revolves around it. It's like the sun. So that means gender-wise, if that noun is masculine, then your adjective needs to be masculine. If that noun is feminine, it needs to be feminine. And then with numbers, it's either singular or plural. So if you've got one shirt, you need a singular adjective. If you've got several shirts, then that adjective needs to be plural. So just to remind you of stuff that you already know with adjectives, pretty much if the adjective ends in an O and you need to make it feminine, you change it to an A. If it ends in dor, which I don't think you've actually had any of those yet, and you don't have any in this chapter, but just to be thorough, if it did end in dor, you would change it to dora. Anything else, you're going to leave it alone. Let's write that down. Anything else, leave it alone. So if it ends in a Z or an L or an R or a Q or whatever it is, leave it alone. There is one little ending you've got to be careful with. And again, this doesn't apply to this chapter, but I'm just trying to make sure it's all in there. If you did have an adjective that ended in ista, that can be masculine or feminine. So like deportista, you're not going to change that to deportisto. That's not a word. But again, that is really not something that's going to show up in this chapter. All right, so singular and plural, you guys are very familiar with this. If you've got, and this is nouns or adjectives, if you've got a word that ends in a vowel and you need to make it plural, you just add an S. If it ends in a consonant, you're going to add ES. So remember, vowels are A, E, I, O, or U. And then I can't think of any adjectives that end in Z's, but we do have some nouns that end in Z's. So remember, to make those plural, you change it to a C and then add ES. But I don't believe that comes into play in this chapter at all. All right, so let's take some examples here. So if we want to say the white shirt, I'm going to go back and remind you, remember adjectives, our colors are adjectives, and they need to go after the noun. So if I'm going to say the white shirt, shirt is the most important word here. Pants here, those are the most important words. Those are our nouns. So we need to know how to say the shirt. So if you go back, you look at your vocabulary, you will find la camisa. And so instead of the white shirt, remember, adjectives go after the noun. So we are going to move our adjective to after the noun here. So the word for white, if you go back, you look at your vocab, it's going to be blanco. But then remember, our second point, it's got to agree in gender and number. So la camisa, we know that it's feminine for a couple of reasons. Really, the article here is the big giveaway. Also, camisa ends in an A, so that's a hint that it's probably feminine. But seeing that law there tells us, yes, for sure that is feminine. So to make that feminine, remember you change that O to an A. So that should be blanca with an A. The white pants, same thing. We're going to move white to after pants. So we want to look at our vocab list. We'll see los pantalones. And again, the basic word for white is blanco. Now los, that tells us that it's masculine, so that O is fine. But then it also tells us that it's plural. And pantalones ending in ES, that tells us that it's plural. So to make it plural, it ends in a vowel. So we're going to add S. So los pantalones blancos. Now let's look at some that don't end in O. So we've got the blue shirt. So back to la camisa. If you go back to your vocab list, the word for blue is azul. Now, if we need to make it feminine, that does not end in O or dor, so we are going to leave it alone. So it's just going to be azul. And then it's just the one shirt, so it's good. Moving on to the pants. Los pantalones. And again, the word for blue is azul. Now, masculine, feminine, we just discussed, it doesn't change because it ends in an L. So, but we do need to make it plural. Los pantalones, it's plural. So it ends in a consonant. So we are going to add ES. Los pantalones azules. All right, so then last color, the green shirt. So again, la camisa. If you look up the word for green, it will tell you verde. Now that ends in an E, and sometimes people want to change that E to an O or an A. Those are not words. So don't do that. If it ends in something that is not O or dor, we are gonna leave it alone. All right, so we're gonna leave it as verde. But then with the pants, los pantalones, the basic word is verde. We do not have to worry about the gender here, but pants is plural, so that ends in a vowel, so we just add an S. So that, I believe, is everything you need to know about colors. Definitely let me know. Keep communicating with me if you're confused at all about anything. There will be another video explaining how to do all the activities for this chapter. But if there's anything that's not clear, please don't hesitate to shoot me an email. Pay attention to your remind text when I do some video conferencing. I'll send you out a reminder. And keep in mind, just because I haven't made a video doesn't mean that I can't make a video on something. So definitely keep the communication flowing. I hope you guys are doing well, and I will see you again soon.